the Activated Story Theater's 131st podcast.
This episode, we bring you Something from Nothing, a Jewish traditional tale.
Hi, I'm Dennis.
And I'm Kimberly.
And together we are the Activated Actors.
We are coming to you from Chicopee, Massachusetts.
The only town in the whole country that is named Chicopee. I just found that out today from someone who grew up here.
From a local, yes.
From a local Chicopean.
A local Chicopean.
Chicopean, whatever.
Chicopee is right near Springfield, Massachusetts, which is the birthplace of, wait for it, basketball.
And it's also the hometown of Dr. Seuss, is it not?
It is. It is the hometown of Dr. Seuss. They have a great Dr. Seuss display at the library.
I wonder if he ever played basketball.
I bet he did.
Maybe he did. Yeah, there's a basketball museum around here somewhere. So
right. And basketball started at the YMCA.
And it was played originally with an actual basket, with a peach basket, I believe, with the bottom removed.
Oh, so they didn't have a net.
They didn't have a net, no.
So you couldn't go swish and say, hey, that was all net.
They didn't have a net or any other girl playing at that time.
Oh, that was bad.
Yeah, oh well.
Yeah, okay, all right.
And a couple of days ago, we went to a performance of National Theater of the Deaf.
We did. Been meaning to see them for years now. Was finally had a chance where their schedule coincided with our schedule. They are based out of New London, Connecticut, and it's National Theater of the Deaf. It is performed by and for deaf audiences and includes deaf actors in the cast as well as hearing. So they're also interpreting, and you can hear the performance spoken and follow the signs as well.
This is their division called Little Theater of the Deaf, and so they do stories especially for kids, and they did some fables and things like that. A lot of fun stuff.
It was. It was a lot of fun to watch them in action.
And New London was also the home of Eugene O'Neill, the playwright, and Nathan Hale, the school teacher who gave his life for his country.
Yes, we got to see the Nathan Hale Schoolhouse.
The Nathan Hale Schoolhouse, where he actually taught.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And what was his famous words?
His famous words are, "I regret that I have but one life to lose for my country." And that's really what he's famous for. I mean, he was executed for being a spy, and he wasn't really a very good spy because he got caught. But he said those words, and they apparently inspired a lot of people.
You mean you're not supposed to get caught when you're a spy?
I guess not.
Okay.
He was also apparently a very good school teacher, a very bright guy.
Yeah, what I like too is they said that he taught classes for the girls, because at that time that was unheard of.
Yes.
And he had classes for the girls, but they had to get up really early in the morning to go to class.
His regular work day was spent teaching boys, but he had a special class from 5 to 7 a.m. for the girls.
So they could get up, go to school, and then go take care of all their chores for the rest of the day.
Yes.
Yep, that's the way life was back then.
So he was kind of ahead of his time in education.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're wrapping up our summer tour. We do have a couple of fall shows that will be open to the public, and not too many fall shows. We'll be doing a lot of school programs this year, but we'll tell you about those programs at the end of the podcast, so you can come see us live. In other news of Activated Story Theater-ness, we have gotten so far 11 grants from Target stores. We're very happy to have those. Thank you very much, Target. They are going to be supporting 11 two-day programs at schools and libraries across the country, and there's still a chance we'll get a few more of those, but right now it stands at 11, which is about a third of the ones that we applied for.
Which is not a bad success rate.
We're pretty happy with that, yes. So we have a story for you guys today.
We have a story, yes.
And the story is Something from Nothing, a Jewish traditional tale. Many years ago, longer than I can remember, in a faraway land that I've never been to, in a colorful little village that I've never seen, there lived someone's grandfather that I've never met. Actually, there were many grandfathers there, and I'd never met any of them. But I heard a story about one of them. He was a very special grandfather. He'd once been a tailor, making beautiful clothes for the entire village. Once, when a granddaughter was born, he looked at the baby and said,
"Coochie coochie coo, coochie coochie coo."
Yeah, but he also said,
"Oh, I need to make a special gift for this baby. I need to see what I can find.
So he took some cloth, and he got his measuring tape, and he got his scissors, and he got his needle and thread, and he measured, and he cut, and he sewed until he made
a blanket, just the right size for my new grandchild.
And the girl really loved that blanket. She used it not only for sleeping, but she used it for play. Sometimes she got it dirty.
And sometimes she got it wet.
Oops.
But it was always nearby. And as she grew older, the blanket grew older too. Until one day when her mother said,
"Oh, child, that blanket! It's ragged and frayed. It's looking decayed. It's time to throw it out."
And the girl replied, which probably meant that she was still attached to it.
"Oh, come on, dear. Don't be silly. It's been a good blanket, but it's so old. It's not much of a blanket anymore. So just let me take it and..."
Now the grandfather overheard the commotion. There, what seems to be the problem?"
"Oh, that child has worn out the blanket you made for her, but she still wants to hold on to it."
"I see. May I see?" No, I just want to see it. I'm not going to throw it away, I promise. I just want to look at it. It looks pretty bad. This is not at all the same blanket I made, but I know I can do something with it."
So he took the blanket, and he got his measuring tape, and he got his scissors, and he got his needle and thread, and he measured, and he cut, and he sewed until he made
an apron, just the right size to fit around a growing granddaughter's waist.
And the girl was very happy with her new apron. "Thank you, Grandpa."
In fact, she wore it every day. She wore it at home, and she wore it at play. She wore it in places that maybe she shouldn't stray.
"Here, Foggy Floggy, I have a nice little pocket in my apron for you."
But as she grew older, the apron grew older too, until one day her mother said to her,
"Oh, child, that apron! It's ripped and ragged. The edges are jagged. It's time to throw it out." "No, Mama. Grandpa made it." "I know. And you have unmade it. It isn't even an apron anymore." But we shouldn't get rid of it without asking him." Yes, I suppose you're right. Very well. Go ahead and ask him about it if you think that it will do any good." "Oh, Grandpa, my apron broken. You can fix it?"
Let me see. Oh, my. It looks like you've been wrestling tigers. Well, we shouldn't throw things out if we don't have to, and I'm pretty sure I can do something with it."
So he took the apron, and he got his measuring tape, and he got his scissors, and he got his needle and thread, and he sewed until he had turned that apron into
a scarf, just the right size to keep my granddaughter's throat warm.
"Oh, thanks, Grandpa. It's the most scrumptious scarf ever."
And she loved that scarf as much as she had loved the apron and the blanket. She wore it every day. She wore it at home, and she wore it at play. The scarf was never far away.
"Really, dear? Are you wearing that scarf in the bathtub again?"
But as she got older, the scarf got older too. It began to look less like a scarf and more like a tangle of spaghetti. And then one day her mother said to her,
"Oh, child, that scarf! It's torn and tattered. Its edges are scattered. It's time to throw it out." No, Mama. We mustn't do that. I'm sure Grandpa can fix it. He can make something out of anything." Well, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to ask him. I get the impression this is becoming a pattern. Thank you, Mother. Oh, Grandpa! Grandpa! Oh, Grandpa, my scrumptious scarf has become a very sad scarf. Can you make it happy again?
Well, let me see. Oh my, this is going to be difficult. But not hopeless. I think maybe I can do something with this. Let me try.
So he took the scarf, or what used to be a scarf. He got his measuring tape. He got his scissors and his needle and thread. And he sewed and sewed until he turned that clump of spaghetti, that is, that scarf, into
socks. Just the right size for the feet of my growing granddaughter.
Oh, thank you, Grandpa. They're the most sensational socks ever.
And she really, really loved those socks, as much as she'd loved the scarf and the apron and the blanket, and she wore them every day. She wore them at home.
Dear, I know you really love those socks and you want to show them off, but I really think you're supposed to wear them on the inside of your shoes rather than the outside.
And she wore them at play. When the village had a flood, she even wore them in the mud. But as she grew older, the socks grew older too. In a couple of places, her toes were poking through. Finally, her mother frowned and said,
"Oh, Pea! Oh dear, those socks! They're no longer pleasant. Not even close. In fact, they're really rather gross. It's time to throw them out." No, Mama, please. Let's ask Grandpa first. I know. He can make something out of anything. Yes, he can. And we really shouldn't throw anything away if we don't have to. It's wasteful. Such times these are, when a girl lectures her mother about waste. Oh, very well. Go ask him. But I doubt if even he can help you this time. Thank you, Mama. Grandpa. Grandpa, my socks are in shambles. My toes poke through. Is there anything you can do?
Let me see. Oh my, I don't know. Maybe. I'll try. Yes, I'll do my best.
So he took the socks, and he got his measuring tape, and he got his scissors, and he got his needle and thread, and he measured, and he cut, and he sewed and sewed until he turned the socks into...
a bow.
A bow?
Yeah, it's better than nothing.
It certainly is. It's really a beautiful bow. Thank you, Grandpa.
And she wore that bow everywhere. It was a bow for her hair. She wore it for a long, long time. She grew older and bigger, but still her bow didn't wear out. As the blanket and the apron and the scarf and the socks had done, she kept on wearing it until one day...
My bow! Oh, where did it go? Oh, it must have fallen off somewhere.
She looked under the bed. She looked under the kitchen sink. She looked in the trash. She looked in the yard. She looked in the mirror. She looked all around, but the bow was nowhere to be found.
There, dear. What's the matter?
Oh, Grandpa, I lost the bow you made for me, which means I've also lost the socks and the scarf and the apron and the blanket. Oh, can you do something about it?
I'm very sorry, my dear, but I'm afraid not even I can make something from nothing, and I have no more of the cloth that my grandmother made for me.
And she was very sad. She didn't eat much. She didn't talk much. She hardly did anything but look sad about her lost bow. Then finally her mother said to her,
You know, maybe your grandpa was wrong. What do you mean? Maybe you can make something from nothing. You don't have the bow or the socks or the scarf or the apron or the blanket or the fabric your great-great-grandma wove, but you have the memory of all of them. If you pass that on to your own children, it will be like making them all over again. It will be like making something from nothing.
So she got her pen, and she got her ink, and she got her paper, and she opened up her imagination. And she wrote, and she wrote, and she wrote, until one day she had made
this story.
And that's the story of Something from Nothing. from Eastern Europe.
Yeah, it's a Jewish traditional tale. I like that story. That's going to be one of our new stories that will be opening in September.
Yes.
And taking around for different programs.
We're not sure exactly what country it comes from. It is a Jewish tale from Eastern Europe. I'm thinking maybe Poland or Russia. Not sure.
Kind of hard to track it down.
Yes,
Yeah.
I haven't been able to yet. If anybody knows, please let us know.
That'd be great. Yes,
Yes.
if you do have any idea, please let us know. That'd be wonderful. Well, we do have some public shows coming up. Like I said, we will be making our premiere in Lima, New York. We will be there for 2 days on October 2nd and October 3rd. And these programs are being sponsored by Target stores. At 10:30 on Wednesday morning, we will be doing a hand play workshop for kids, preschoolers, and their adults, their caregivers. And then on Thursday, the 3rd, in the afternoon and the evening, we will be having 2 programs, and we'll be featuring a couple of our stories in each of those programs, and those will be open to the public. The times are yet to be announced, so check back with us. October 7th, we will be in Connecticut, and that will be an after-school program at the Brian Schubert Library in Greenwich, Connecticut, and that show will start at 3 o'clock. And then on the 25th, we will be at the Bethel Synagogue Center, and that will be featuring the Something for Nothing story. So you can come see that one and see how we actually acted out on stage.
And that will be in what town?
Oh, that's New Rochelle, New York.
New Rochelle, New York.
Yes.
Not far from New York City.
Right. And then we do have some more programs coming up in November, and we will tell you about those in our next podcast, or you can always check our website or join our Facebook fan page. Just look for Activated with the exclamation point ACT exclamation point VATED on Facebook, and we will come up. You will find us. Be our friend on Facebook, and we will let you know about all the shows coming up there as well. Or let's check our website, activatedstorytheater.com, and we are an RE theater.
Thanks for listening. We hope you can make something from nothing.
Yes.
Try it.
Try it. And if you come up with a story, let us know. Thanks a lot. Talk to you later.
Stay activated.
Activated Story Theater is committed to bringing fun, educational shows to schools and libraries nationwide. On stage, we use physical comedy, American Sign Language, imaginative props, and a giant, oversized book to bring multicultural folktales to life. For booking information, check out our website, activatedstorytheater.com, where you can also find out when the activated actors will be performing near you. Read a story or order one of our audio CDs. You can subscribe to this podcast on iTunes or listen on Stitcher. We look forward to your comments and folktale suggestions. Stay activated. Until next time.